So in this lesson, we're going to talk about simple interest, finding simple interest or finding the missing variables. So simple interest, first, our formula is going to be I equals P times R times T. I is the interest that we earn, or the money that we earn. P is the principal, the money we put in, or deposit into our simple interest account. R is the rate, or the percent. And T is the time, and time is always in years. Okay, so we have to be careful that it's always given in years. If not, if it's given in months, then we need to make it a decimal. So let's take a look at some examples. So the basic idea is we're going to invest some money with some rate, with some percent, over some time, and then we're going to get back some extra money on top of that. So here's our first equation. I equals PRT. If we're solving for interest, we use this equation. If we're solving for principal, so if we do not know what the principal is, we want to set this equation up so we can solve for P. So I want to get P equals something. All right? So if we take our I equals P times R times T, and I want to solve for P. So in this case, I want to solve for P. So I want to get rid of the R and the T. Since this is multiplication, what's the opposite of multiplication?
Division.
Division. So let's divide by R and T. What I do to one side, I do to my other side. So my R's will simplify, my T's will simplify, and I'm left with P equals I, which is the simple interest, divided by R times T. Another example may say we're missing our rate. So again, we're going to do the same thing, except this time we're going to solve for rate. So I'm going to start again with I equals P times R times T. I'm solving for R. I'm solving for R. So if I want to get rid of my P and T here, how do I get rid of P and T?
You divide by
I want to keep my R.
R. Oh.
Divide by
P and T.
divide by P and T. Awesome. So let's divide both sides by P and T. My P simplifies, my T simplifies, and I'm left with R equals I over P T. And one more. This time we're solving for T, so same principle. I equals P times R times T. Solving for T, I want to isolate the T by dividing by P and R. Excellent. Divide both sides by P and R. And I'm left with T equals I over P times R. So now let's get to some problems. First one, solve for the missing variable. So we have principal, rate, time, and this time we're looking for the simple interest. So my equation, I equals P R T. I'm missing my simple interest, so I'm solving for I. So this equation is set up perfectly for us. So all I'd have to do is say I equals P, which is 10,000, times R, which is 7%. One little thing we have to do with the 7%, turn it into a decimal. 7% is decimal. 0.07 times T, and T is 3 years. And again, T is always in years. So we're going to put this into our calculator. We're going to say 10,000 times 0.07 times 3. So we should get an answer of $2,100. So this is the simple interest. Be careful what the question is asking for. If it's asking for the simple interest, we are done. We just say 2,100. If it's asking for the entire amount after, we're going to say, okay, well, we have our $10,000 that we invested plus the $2,100. And we could say we earned, so now our total savings account is $12,100. Okay, so in that case, we're looking for the simple interest. Let's look at a different one. So here we have the principal. We're missing the rate. We have the time. And we have the simple interest. So back to our previous examples, we had I equals PRT. Since we were missing the rate, we went back from our previous example. R equals I over P times T. So we have our variables. R equals simple interest. I is 5,000 divided by P, which is 20,000, times T, which is 5. So this formula will give us the rate once we plug these numbers in. So if we do 5,000 divided by 20,000 times 5, we should get an answer of 0.05. Now since I'm asking for the rate, I should take this one more step further and turn 0.05 into a percent. Move your decimal over 1, 2. We can say the interest rate is 5%. So next example, we have principal 85,000, the rate 2.5%, the time is unknown, and the simple interest is 17,000. So again, I'm always going to start with I equals PRT. I'm solving for T here because I'm looking for time. So time is equal to I divided by P times R. So if we just simply plug in, we have T equals I, which is 17,000, divided by 85,000 times 0.025. Now if we're on the calculator, we want to put this in one step, we could put in 17,000 divided by, and in parentheses, 85,000 times 0.025, close parentheses. And when you do this, you should get an answer of 8, or 8 years in this case. Okay, two more examples. The principal is unknown, the interest rate is 8%, time is 4 years, and the simple interest is 3,200. So again, I equals PRT. Solving for P, I'm going to get P equals I over RT. Plugging in my variables, P equals I is 3,200 divided by R is 8%, or 0.08, which is 8%, times T, which in this case is 4. So again, on our calculators, P equals 3,200 divided by, in parentheses, 0.08 times 4, and we should get an answer of $10,000. So the original principal, original amount invested, was $10,000. One more. Solving for time. Principal is 10,000. The rate is unknown. I'm sorry, the rate is 3%. The time is unknown, and the simple interest is 9,000. So I equals P R T. Solving for time. T equals I over PR. Substitute in. T equals 9,000 divided by principal, which was 10,000, times our interest rate, 0.03. T equals, if we plug this into our calculator,
30.
we should get an answer of 30 years. So it took 30 years to earn $9,000.